Hey everybody, what's going on? This is NorbCam coming at you Monday following the divisional playoffs weekend, where sadly my Seahawks fell to the Atlanta Falcons 36-20 and ended our season and our dreams and hopes of making it to the Super Bowl this year. Unfortunately, didn't work out in that game, and so we enter into that next phase that so many fans this year have had to go into, of the time to turn the page, say goodbye to 2016, and start gearing up for 2017. But I thought before I start going into the whole looking ahead and looking back at the season as a whole, give some final thoughts on this last game that we had. And I've been, seeing a lot of comments. A lot of you watched my live, either on Facebook. I was simultaneously streaming to Facebook as well as YouTube. And I see a lot of people saying, I think he was about to start crying and saw tears. And, what's funny is, while I was sad, of course, that the season was coming to an end, this was a lot less emotional of a game than I actually thought it might be. I think, compared to, I'm sure, a lot of the fans out there who are from Dallas and Kansas City, I know you guys are a lot more heartbroken than I am. It's that whole thing where people ask you, which is worse, to, lose by, 1 point in the final second versus, getting blown out. Emotionally, of course, it's not as bad, because when you get beat by a good number of points, you kind of think, it just wasn't our game, wasn't our season. It's a lot easier to write it off than when you're this close, and boy, do I know a thing or two about being this close. Any Seahawk fan does. I mean, as you all know, when you lose a game by getting picked off at the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl, you cannot get any closer than that. You can't get in any bigger game than that. So from our standpoint, psyche-wise, there will never be a worse game than that. So compared to that one, this is child's play, okay, emotionally speaking. So I guess there's some solace to that maybe makes this not as painful as a game as it could have been, say, if we had never won a Super Bowl and this was feel like it's our last chance. But it's still a bummer. You go in with the hopes that if things just play out right, we could pull this off and continue going on, and maybe part of that too was the fact that I knew going into this game we were going to have our hands full. Atlanta is a good team. Let's face facts. They got a great offense. Matt Ryan is definitely an MVP candidate. I think he made more of a case on that, seeing that performance that he put up. And we also knew, for those of us who've been watching the Seahawks closely all season, we've known our flaws. We've had issues. Not having Earl Thomas in that game, our offensive line inconsistencies, even on defense, we've had struggles, not having a run game consistently. All those things I think all go into your head knowing that this wasn't like we were going to this game going, oh yeah, we got this, we should beat these guys by 30 points, and you knew it was going to be an uphill battle. And so, so bottom line is, I think, knowing all that, it makes the loss just a little bit less painful, than a loss that, could have been under different circumstances. So, kind of like, it's like the on that Saturday, Texans fans as well as Seahawks fans are kind of in the same boat, kind of knowing what they're up against and kind of how the game's played out, in the same way that Cowboys and Chiefs fans, I know, are in a boat of misery right now. And, you guys know, because you were this close. You were one penalty flag, for the Chiefs fans, one penalty flag away from possibly going into overtime and having a chance to win that game. Or the Cowboys, they're one field goal, just one play, 3 seconds away from being able to go into overtime and having a chance to win their game. So pretty exciting Sunday from a football standpoint. But now that, as it is, that's kind of how things turned out. So let me go back to our game, though, more specifically. So it wasn't all bad. In fact, the start couldn't have gotten any better. I had made the point in a previous video about how Seattle had not scored but one time a touchdown on their first offensive possession. And to be able to go into Atlanta and score a touchdown on a 6.5 minute drive going 89 yards was awesome. I thought, wow, maybe we really do have it. Maybe this is a sign of things to come. And, that was about as good a start as you could ask for. And then Atlanta responded, 12 plays, 75 yards. I was like, okay, that's fine, more than we want to give up, but hey, we're even. And Seattle responded back. They came back and got a field goal. And then we stopped Atlanta 3 and out. And it's like we were in the perfect position. We had them where we wanted them right then. And with 10 minutes and 13 seconds left in the second quarter, Devin Hester does what we had all just in our wildest dreams hope he would do, and nearly took it to the house, took it to the 7-yard line, and setting the Seahawks up for a perfect situation, first and goal with a 3-point lead, looking to go on top 17-7. But as we all know by now, the holding call by Kevin Pierre-Louis on what seems to be now looking back, a pretty pointless hold that really had no impact on the play, completely negated that and started a chain of events that ultimately became the turning point for the game and created a momentum shift to Atlanta that we could not overcome. And I guess, if you gotta look at it that way, had we not gotten the penalty and we could have done what would have allowed us to get up 17-7, who knows how this game would have turned out. It's possible everything changes. Atlanta probably still would have responded, but at least we would have had a 2-score buffer that maybe our defense plays a little differently. But, instead, we get 2 plays later, we get a safety, Atlanta gets a field goal, gets a 99-yard, gets a stop, we punt, pin them at the 1, they go 99 yards to score a touchdown before the half. And then they come back with the ball again, go 75 yards. Suddenly they're up 26-10, and the game is basically over. 19 unanswered points within a span of, 15 minutes, I guess, game time. But, so that's not a championship team. if letting that happen, that's not championship football. And that just goes again to show how good Atlanta was and is, and how much we need to work on some things defensively and offensively. It felt like this game was a kind of a microcosm of our entire season. You know what I mean? It's like we were playing great, and then once things started to go bad, all of our bumps and bruises and warts that we've had all season all came up at the same time. We couldn't run the ball. We couldn't sustain drives. We couldn't stop them. We couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. All those things that have been recurring issues that we've been trying to fix and just never really got fixed all kind of came up and bit us all at the same time. So, so it sucks. It sucks that we lost, but, it is what it is. And congratulations to the Falcons for what they've been able to accomplish, and we'll see what happens next moving forward. So let me just kind of jump in a little bit of the reviews of what I said it was going to take to win this game. I had 5 keys. I said we needed to rush for over 100 yards and preferably more. We got exactly 101. Which isn't exactly what I meant. And Wilson had 49 of those. He was our leading rusher with 49 yards, and Rawls only had 34. I kind of meant for our running backs to get 100 yards plus, and not Wilson being the one carrying the ball primarily. That's actually kind of shocking to actually see that Wilson was the one with the leading, with that many yardage. But just goes to show how the run game pretty much evaporated for us after kind of getting it going early on. I said number 2, time of possession. We needed to win that. We lost it 26 minutes to Atlanta's 33. So failed on that count. Number 3, we need to win the turnover battle. We lost it 2-0. 2 interceptions late in the game, actually. But I knew we'd have to be in the positive side of that stat in order to have a chance. Didn't do that. Pressure the quarterback. We did have 3 sacks on Matty Ice, and they had 3 on us. The problem is the sacks came too late and weren't at high impact moments of the game to really change anything. So we were even. We needed to be a plus in that category, so that didn't work out for us. And then we needed to limit the explosive plays, keep chunk plays under 20 yards. They had, on my count, at least 5 of them. And yeah, that wasn't really the issue. Really, we were getting killed by the small stuff, the 5 yards, the 7 yards, the 10 yards, the 15-yard variety that just kept drives alive as we couldn't get off the field. But they still had their share of explosive plays too. So just really no answer on defense, unfortunately. And then on top of that, outside of my own keys, the other things that we didn't do very well is we were in the red zone. We were only 1 for 3 in the red zone, whereas Atlanta was 4 for 7. Obviously, that's how often they were in our side of the territory. We only got in there 3 times and only scored 1 touchdown. And then probably, again, the biggest one that goes back to that key moment of the game, penalties. Statistically, we were 7 penalties for 40 yards. Atlanta was only 2 for 10. But that doesn't even tell the whole story. It was the timing of those penalties, and of course the one big one that cost us the huge, potentially game-changing play in the second quarter. So penalties, again, that was a whole other thing. Penalties have been a problem this whole season. We've been on the wrong side of that number, it feels like, all season long, and it kind of bit us again this time. So, I think the biggest glaring concern for me was just the fact that our defense could not get off the field, giving up drive after drive after drive. That's just not the way our defense has typically functioned in the past. We knew the offense was going to have their struggles, being with the offensive line issues being kind of the recurring theme all throughout the season. But to see our defense struggle like it did, and I know didn't have Earl. We lost Deshaun Shedd, in the middle of the game. That didn't help matters either, but just seemed like it's hard to make that the sole excuse for it, because what it feels like we've seen, not just this season but previous seasons, is just teams that are exploiting the soft zones in that 5 to 10 yard range, the middle of the field, between the linebackers and the corners. I don't know how many times those guys would hit routes in there and just convert first down after first down. And we just didn't seem to have an answer for it. And this goes back, again, before this season. And I don't know the solution there. I don't believe it's a talent issue. We've got great talent in our linebackers. Our line is good. We've got good talent on the line. I do think we need more depth on the defensive line. We're not getting quarterback pressure fast enough. And, our secondary, other than being banged up, we still have a lot of talent there. So it's hard to put a finger on why it is we're getting so exploited there and can't do the same thing to other teams. If that's the be all end all sort of Achilles heel to taking down a defense like ours, well then why can't we just do that? The same thing, It's frustrating. It's frustrating to try to figure out, but that's for the general manager, John Schneider, and Pete Carroll, and all those guys, Chris Richard, defensive coordinator, to figure out. But it's a area of concern, because I feel like we've been seeing that movie on repeat too many times. So, that's kind of it. That's really my assessment of how that game went. So, as you know, I made a bet with Atlanta Falcons fan David, Sports Live in the ATL. And so, since they won and we lost, I'm going to have to get my black and red face paint, paint it up, and send him a Seahawks mini helmet, which was the conditions of our bet. So I will be doing that. I will make good on that. I promise that, David. That is coming. So, sucks that I have to do it. I've never done this. I've never had to wear someone else's colors face paint before, so it's going to be a little weird. But a bet's a bet. So I gotta do it. I gotta be a man of my word, man up, and take my lumps. So I don't know if I'll do a bet like this again, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes in the future here. But a lot of people have been asking me, so who are you rooting for now? It's like the same answer I give to people who ask, who's my second favorite team? So I don't have a second favorite team. I root for one team. So I don't look at it as rooting for anybody else. I'm pretty much just rooting against teams I can't stand. And it's coming down to a Patriots, Steelers out of the AFC or the Packers, Falcons out of the NFC. Can't stand the Patriots. Can't stand the Steelers. I don't like the Packers either. And the Falcons, well, I guess they've broken our hearts in 2012 and then this year. Outside of that, I guess they're the team I hate the least. So at this point, I'm rooting for harder against everybody else. I guess that would be my answer to how I'm looking ahead in the next few games here. I just don't want to see New England. The thought of New England and Brady or Roethlisberger and the Steelers hoisting another trophy up is a sickening thought to my mind. So same thing with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Yeah, you guys have had your share of heartbreak recently, not getting into the playoffs and not getting past to the final game. But you guys have done a lot of stuff to us over the years, so we still owe you guys, to make up for games of the past. So anyway, we'll see how it goes the rest of this postseason for the other teams. But I'll be watching with lukewarm curiosity. I guess I'll put it that way. So anyway, that's about it. So I'm gonna get more into the needs of the Seahawks and what we should do, my thoughts on what we should do to kind of fix things moving forward. I'm going to save that for another time. I need to get my head wrapped around, our needs, our draft needs, our, who should stay, who should go. It's a lot of questions about our team and what we need to do to succeed next year. It's not going to be easy. It's what happens in a salary cap world we live in. When you have to start paying guys, it's not like back in 2013 when everybody was on the cheap on rookie deals and we had depth after depth after depth at multiple positions. It's not going to ever be like that again. It's just not. We had a perfect storm of ideal personnel at that time. So we're going to have to get a lot more creative and hit on a lot more draft picks and trades and whatnot. So, but that'll be for another time. For now, time to say goodbye to 2016. It's been a great run. I'm happy with the fact that we had a season that we did. It was an up and down season. It was frustrating. It was exciting. We had moments of awesome, amazing, momentous accomplishment and other games of complete frustration and disappointment and anger. But that's kind of what football is. It'd be boring if it's just all one thing. So it's great to have been NFC West champs again, to won a game in the playoffs and to make it to the Elite Eight, to make it to the divisional round. We're fortunate to have done that 5 years in a row. So our expectations are definitely higher these days as a fan base, so we're not as easily pleased as we were back in the old days. So we expect a lot more. So it's it's harder to not to be a little bit more greedy for what we want, but it's not doesn't make anything any easier as we start gearing up for the next season. But I am grateful to the Seahawks for giving us an exciting season again. I'm thankful to all the friends, new people I got to meet during the course of this past year, and for all the amazing new experiences and places I've gotten to go to as part of doing videos for NorbCam. Whether it be my first time visit to the LA Coliseum to watch the Seahawks play the Rams on their inaugural home game, or visiting schools and young NorbCam fans there for the first time in different schools this year, being able to raise money for 12s Helping 12s. All those things are just other side things outside of the football season that have been exciting about this past year, and been grateful for the opportunity to do that. And I haven't talked about this much, but I have to tell you how excited I am about the fact that I did receive my draft card from the Pro Football Ultimate Fan Association. the same one that Mark Collins and Mr. and Mrs. Seahawk and Mama Blue and Brad and Laura Carter, all those guys are members of that very cool organization. I've been drafted, so I have a long process to go through to try to basically I have to earn my place to be there. But I'm excited with that opportunity that I've been given by Hawk Daddy Earl, who gave me my draft card. Thank you very much. And hopefully, if things go well, I'll be back in Canton, Ohio in August for my opportunity to become officially part of this organization. So I'm very excited with that as well. So many things this season that have been so fun, so exciting. But most of all, thanks to you guys. I say this whenever I can, but hopefully I'm saying it enough to tell you how much I appreciate all your support. From those of you who've been watching me since day one that I've been doing videos, to the ones who just found me this year and recently, appreciate you guys watching my videos, commenting, saying hi to me at the games if I met you in person, or just sending me a shout out on comments. You guys are what makes this so much fun to do, and to fuels my fire to keep doing it season after season. Music videos, rivals, game reactions, vlogs, etc. I hope to keep doing more and more rivals. I didn't get to do as many as I wanted to, but I'm going to try to do more. New Year's resolution for 2017. Anyway, so thank you to all you guys for being there and supporting what I do. I'm excited about 2017. There's a lot of great things to look forward to, including another great football season with this team and the new faces that we'll have and all that. So keep watching. I'm not unplugging. I'm not disconnecting. I'll definitely still be around, even in the off season, updating you guys with things as well as music videos and the like. So keep watching. I do appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel, NorbCam. Follow me at Twitter at NorbCam, and at NorbCam on Instagram and on Facebook. And let's keep this thing going, huh? That's all I got. All right, we'll talk more about the future in the next video. But for now, have a great 2017. I'll be talking to you soon. Go Hawks.